So I was a youth worker for, like as I mentioned, for 10 years and did a lot of youth work in small communities across BC. So Squamish, Vernon, Whitehorse, so on. And when I was in Squamish, I really noticed sort of the impact of community economies on young people. And so I thought, I'm going to get a little more interested around how economies operate and what that could look like. And so I went and did a degree, a international business management degree. And from there, I worked internationally for a little bit. And when I came back to Vancouver, I was hired by the Canadian Mental Health Association in Vancouver to start and run social enterprises that employ people with significant serious mental illness. And so I worked doing that, starting and running cafes, catering businesses, cleaning businesses. And from there, I became really interested in social enterprise, especially social enterprises that have deep purpose, and those were employment-based social enterprises. So I ran and operated those for a bit. Then I worked for another organization that was as their director of social enterprise, but using a different social enterprise model. So again, a nonprofit that had a mandate not to accept government grants. And so from there, we looked at how to create a diverse revenue model using partnerships, sponsorships, fee-for-service, a whole bunch of different ways of running that nonprofit. So I learned a lot from being the director of social enterprise there. And then when I moved to Victoria, I looked around for sort of the social enterprise sector, and at that time, sort of like 2010-ish, Vancouver had quite a robust social enterprise sector. When I moved to Victoria, there wasn't very much going on. So partnered up with other people in the community that were interested in social enterprise, and we launched an initiative called Social Enterprise Catalyst, which ran for 3 years, and that's where I really worked with Kristi Rivait, met Herrin, learned about how they were operating their organizations, their nonprofits, and how they were operating them in a way that was combining assets and revenue and partnerships and really interesting approaches that allowed them to run their organizations in, I'm going to say, like an enterprising, abundant way. And we thought, what if we could assist lots of organizations in the nonprofit sector to implement a mixed revenue and asset and strong financial models underneath them? How could that transform organizations away from grant dependency into being able to serve their communities through a mix of revenues and strategies? So that started Scale Collaborative.
I'm going to pretend to hold it. I'm going to walk this way.
Let's hold it.
Oh no, I can't put it on a stump. I'll put it behind here.